Rise and shine on Australia's Vision Christian Radio.
And it's Wednesday and we know what day it is. We're confident. Sometimes we're not sure.
Yesterday was a blur, but today is definitely Wednesday.
And it's been wonderful. This podcast will be a bit shorter, Robbo, won't it? Because it's Prayer and Praise Wednesday on the show.
That's right, yes. We don't usually podcast the prayer requests, but certainly it's always a great time to spend with people, praying for them and praising with them as well. Some of the praise reports that you get through are fantastic. So it's always a lovely thing. We typically do it the first Wednesday of the month, but we missed this month, November, because of Visionathon happening in the first week of November. And so we thought, we've missed it. We'll jump in early and this will sort of cover November and December.
Well, there we go. Definitely not going to miss it. But we also had today a pop-in. Are you a pop-in type of a person, Robbo?
Yes and no.
Oh, you are?
So, yeah, typically probably more planned, I think, would be my thing. But, I'm sort of open to it, but, probably more keen to have a bit of a plan.
Yes.
But we had it was a rough plan with this in the sense that Victor had emailed me a week ago saying he was, thinking of coming to Brisbane and, would love to drop in. And I was like, oh, yeah, that'd be great. We'd love to see you. And then he emailed me overnight, but obviously because I don't see the emails while I'm in the studio. And so, they just appeared. And it was like, oh, here they are.
That's right.
But it was great. I mean, they were lovely, weren't they? He and his
good.
wife and then Matty, the brother-in-law as well, who's a member of a band.
So talented.
Yeah, amazing. So you'll hear that. And we'll have the song in the podcast as well. So we don't always get to play the music for licensing reasons, but Matty's given us permission to play the song, so we can play
wonderful.
that in the podcast as well. So you'll hear all that conversation and some great music coming up in the podcast today.
And tomorrow we're having a virtual Thanksgiving, so
that's
if you're
right.
listening along. And actually, on Friday, we're going to have a free plug Friday. So we're getting a few people telling us we've got this and this and we'd love people to know about it. If you've got a Christmas event you want to get organised, let us know ahead of time and we can schedule it in for Friday.
That's right. Yep, we'd love to give your events a plug on Friday. So that's all to come for this week, but enjoy today's podcast.
It's Rise and Shine on Vision Christian Radio.
Good morning. It's a Wednesday and you're here with Fel and Robbo this morning. Good morning.
Yes. Yeah, middle of the week. It's all downhill from here.
Oh, or uphill, depending on your perspective.
Yeah.
I like a Wednesday because you're warmed up, right?
That's right,
so
exactly.
Today should be a day where you get a lot done.
Well, for starters, we knew what day it was. Yesterday we were both going, is it Tuesday really? I'm not sure. Like it felt weird. But Wednesday we know. It's Wednesday. Let's go. We're into it.
Just imagine how good this show will be when we're on with the day to begin with. And look, it is going to be a fantastic show. And that is because it's Prayer and Praise Wednesday. We've brought it forward just by a week. So we are messing things up a little bit, but it's always a good time to pray and praise. Of course, we do that every day.
That's right.
But today there's a bit of a special focus.
Yeah, well, that's right. We're asking you, what do you need prayer for, or what are you thankful for? What are you praising God for? Let us know. We'll celebrate with you. So we'll do that in a couple of hours' time, but you can jump in early and let us know. We'd love to. We've got a post already on Facebook. You can comment there with your prayer requests, or you can call through. Let us know. We'd love to hear from you.
Wonderful. I've also found an extra 2 seconds for our Bible story sound off, so don't say I'm not generous. I don't know if it's going to help, actually. But if you listen up later this hour, we'll have that as well.
Fantastic. All that to come this morning on Rise and Shine.
The Rise and Shine podcast.
That's Colton Dixon, Up and Up. You're on Rise and Shine. And Robbo, something that's going up and up is our Visionathon tally board.
That's right.
Yes. Yeah, I thought you might say that was a bit daggy.
Continuing to grow. Oh, no, I could see it. I could see it coming. I knew as soon as we were in that song, I thought, oh, well, here we go. If you didn't do it, I would have been very disappointed.
Really? Is that more? Oh, you better give us an update then.
Yeah, well, it has grown since yesterday. I know we were saying yesterday we really wanted to see the tally get to that 1.4 million, like a nice, neat amount. So it's not quite there. We're actually exactly $2,000 away from that point.
Okay.
So we're in, and also that means $2,000 away from ticking over the 80% mark of the overall goal. So it is a nice, neat amount right now. There's 3 zeros on the end of the tally, which is cool. But we still want to see that grow, of course, and we have been seeing it grow. Yeah, there's several $1,000s came in yesterday, and so we're very thankful for that. And lots of people making that happen with their donations.
That's right. People like Gillian from Lower Sandy Bay in Tasmania, a first-time giver. So, Gillian, huge radio hug to you. Thank you for joining our Vision family here in giving. And a lovely comment. I love today's message on crossing the line. The daily messages are excellent. I agree, Gillian. I was reading the word for today in the app as I was having my brekky, and it's just such a blessing.
Yeah.
It's quick, easy to read, but keeping your eyes on Jesus and talking about Joshua this morning, I was like, yes, anything about Joshua gets me excited.
Exactly. It's been a good series, actually, that one. I must admit, yesterday, which is when Gillian left this nation, I read it a couple of times because I thought, it didn't quite just make sense straight away. But I read it again, and then I listened to it later, when Phil reads it on the radio. I'm like, it all started to make sense as I listened a few times.
It helps when Phil reads it out for me.
But Gillian obviously loved it, which is fantastic.
Well done.
So good on you. Thanks for your donation, Gillian. Also, another one who loves the word for today is Mary in Bustleton. She loves the music, the word for today, and all the messages that God has for her, she says. So good on you, Mary. Thanks for your $25 gift there in Bustleton. And it's wonderful, isn't it, that God's got messages for all of us, and He seems to, work through all the different things that happen here at Vision to speak to people all over the country.
Well, that is right. And what we're doing together with Visionathon is an opportunity to everyone come together to make sure that can continue to go and grow into 2025. And it's not hard to get involved, is it, Robbo?
No, that's right. Just jump online. You can go to vision.org.au, tap donate there, or in the Vision app, you can do the same. You can call through the day during business hours, but it's probably best at the moment we just focus on the website and the app because that's what you can do right now. Yes. And we'd love to see that tally continue to grow. So as mentioned, we're $2,000 away from the 80% mark on the way to our $1.75 million. And this is a financial need. It's not just a figure that's been plucked out of the air. Like, this is a need that we have in order to keep going and growing into the new year. So we need your help to do it. Thanks to the over 3,600 people that have stood with us so far, but we need that number to grow. So be one of those people today. If you haven't given already, we would love to hear from you. Jump online, vision.org.au, or tap donate in the app.
Thanks for streaming the Rise and Shine Daily podcast. Please subscribe to the show, rate it on your favourite podcast platform, and share the link on your socials. It all helps get the word out.
And yesterday, you let me get a little bit Christmassy, Robbo, which I thought was very fun. A little bit early, but it is a month out from Christmas.
Well, that's
now.
right. We're inside a month. I reckon if you haven't started to think about Christmas yet, you need to be starting to think about it pretty soon because it's racing towards us like nobody's business. I did see because there was a post in the Facebook group about this, about Christmas trees, but Leonie says it's too early. So she's still
out.
Holding out. I'm not sure when. I guess maybe the weekend. It is December on Sunday. So
there are lots of families who will be putting their Christmas tree up on Sunday. So we did a bit of a poll yesterday. Do you like them neat or do you like them messy? And overnight, I noticed there was a lot of comments and beautifully some Christmas tree photos being put up.
Yeah.
So you can either go to Rise and Shine, our Facebook page, or as DJ says, the secret clubhouse.
Yeah,
it's not secret and it's not a clubhouse. You're very, very welcome. But you can answer a couple of questions and you can go through to a private group where we can share photos probably a little bit more freely. And I've even put my Christmas tree in there. Thanks to Catherine who reminded me that I'd said I would do that. So Catherine has put hers. But I can see Louise here. You've put your Christmas tree photo up in the Rise and Shine page. It's beautiful. She says, mine used to be very neat and organised, but I now have grandbabies under 5 and that is messy and busy and I think it sounds just wonderful, Louise. And actually your tree just looks gorgeous. So if that's messy, I'm all for it.
Yeah. Well, I'm just looking at your tree, which you did put a photo of, and I wouldn't actually say that that's that messy. Like
really?
I mean, there's obviously different decorations on there, but it looks neat enough to me. So I don't know. Anyway, I guess comparing it with Catherine's, Catherine's is incredible. Like, it's just got so many decorations on there, baubles and tinsel and whatever. The big angel on the top. So spectacular. So have a look there. You got lots of different photos and comments coming through. The one text that we got, in fact, just earlier this morning from Mark, grabbed my attention. He said that his wife Jilly and their youngest daughter were assembling their Christmas tree last weekend. When Mark came home, he says he was just shocked because the Christmas tree was pink. So they have a pink Christmas tree. He says Jilly has always been a lady in all respects and her favourite colour is pink. And so the Christmas tree this year
Brilliant.
Pink. I've never heard of or seen a pink Christmas tree, so would be worth having a look at that photo
There you go.
too.
Watch out, I think, there, Robbo.
Yeah,
You might have a
be
pink.
the next,
you never know. One on your doorstep.
So there you go. Lots of different options there. Do check out some of the comments and add your own as well in our little poll that we did put on Facebook about whether you like them neat or messy.
Oh, indeed. And look, the other thing that I'm thinking, Robbo, we might have to have a chat about is Christmas lists. My kids are getting more and more inventive with those. So there's a few Christmas-related
list,
help.
Yeah,
I'm getting PowerPoint presentations emailed to me. Got one this morning. I've had huge folders of them. So there's a few Christmas-related topics that we should be digging into, I think.
Classic. That's so good. Well, yes, it is certainly coming up. It's less than a month away now. In fact, it's a calendar because Christmas is on a Wednesday this year. So it's actually 4 weeks today. So it's right on 4 weeks today till Christmas, which is just staggering, to be honest.
Okay.
But,
That's come up quickly.
it will be here before we know it.
And now it's time for a little clue for the
Bible Story Sound Off.
Listen, isn't this the magic of radio and the magic of podcasts? Even if I'm not in the studio and I'm down in Geelong, I'm here via the podcast giving you your 6th clue for the 6th sound of the Bible Story Sound Off. Can you tell I just like saying the word 6? Well, I've got something a little bit cryptic for you today, a little bit cryptic, all right, to point you in the right direction. Here it is. The Shepherd King's Lament, a kingdom split, a future testament. Where could that be pointing you to? I wonder.
Are you ready for a challenge? Listen to the mystery sound, correctly name the Bible story, and win a great prize. Sounds easy, but is it? Rise and Shine's Bible Story Sound Off.
It is the Bible Story Sound Off and your chance to win a prize, but you need to listen closely and then be a little bit of a detective to figure out what this cryptic clue is. Basically, we'll have a bit of a sound which has come out of the pages of the Bible, you might say.
Yes, that's right.
With a little bit of creative license. But yeah, so figure out what it is and you'll win yourself the prize. Now, let me get this laptop set up here. So we've got to get it out, turn it on, power it up. It's nuclear powered, apparently. You can hear the...
It's a concern. I'm not sure about nuclear power.
We do have to wear the, what's those
the
hazmat suits to keep ourselves safe from it.
It's hot to be wearing them.
But you can hear it sort of tapping into the sound waves through time, and it zeroes in on a particular moment in history, and then, boonk, there it is. It's got that sound, and that's what we're listening to.
Oh, and they've turned it up a little bit more this morning to get us just a couple of extra seconds.
Yep, so we've got to have a second layer of hazmat suits on to protect ourselves from all the radiation. But have a listen. This is the extra long, or a longer sound anyway.
Oh,
okay.
So you know what it is, though, Robbo?
I do, and that actually confuses me because I reckon the extra little bit of sound may send you off on a tangent. I'm not sure, but anyway.
Well, shall we listen to it one more time?
Yeah, I think so.
And keep in mind that
Robbo... listen to the first half more than the second half. Okay.
Wow.
Well, there you go. So we've had lots of... yesterday there seemed to be a bit of a theme around snakes. So the hissing snake rather than a shushing sound. So, yeah, what do you reckon about that? But then with the creaking door, well, is it a door? I don't even know. I mean, that I wouldn't have thought so. Who knows what it is? You tell us. Give us a call, 1-800-316-316. If you can tell us what that Bible story sound is. Well, let's have a listen to the sound. All right, there's a big creak there at the end after the shush, or is it a snake hissing? We had
Wow.
quite a few people saying that yesterday.
Definitely not a donkey.
Not a donkey. There's no donkeys involved in this sound whatsoever. Let's go to the phones, though, and find out what you think. 1-800-316-316. William is first up this morning. What are you thinking, mate?
Is it changing the anointing oils?
Oh, that's
Changing the
good.
anointing oils. Okay, that's
Oh,
good.
you would have to be quiet doing that, I feel like.
Yeah, that's
a
right.
quiet sort of a job.
So, because that's
When they're walking up to the temple.
yeah, right. Yep, in the temple. That's a very good guess, William.
Very, very good.
Unfortunately, it's not the answer we're looking for.
But an excellent, excellent guess.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, William.
Bye.
Carol in Mulaney, what do you think?
Oh, Belle, I think it's the shepherds coming into Bethlehem, walking up to the stable
Yes.
and going, shh, not to wake the baby
They
Jesus.
probably were saying shush to that drummer boy.
Yeah, that's right. They saw him coming from the other
Opening the
side.
stable
It's like,
door.
no, don't do that.
And you're right, it does sound like a stable door
Yes,
opening.
yeah.
That's a very good guess, and it's Christmassy.
Yeah, that's it. Even
Oh, yeah.
the right theme for Christmas. Carol, it is a great guess. Unfortunately, though,
Yes.
it is not correct. Not the answer we're looking
Carol,
for.
do you get Christmas Carol like all the time this season?
No, not
Oh,
usually.
just me. Oh, sorry. Well, you've got a very
That's your first
festive
one
name.
for the year.
Well, I have, yes.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you so much.
Well, bless you both, and I'll try again.
Yeah, please
Good
do.
on you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
It's the sort of thing you can keep guessing every day if you want, because we've got to
please
find the
do.
right answer. So keep the calls coming through. We will do it again, of course, tomorrow, same time. The Bible Story Sound-Off will return here on Vision. News coming up soon. And actually, I've just had a message. I think we've got some guests outside.
Oh,
so we
wonderful.
might have some visitors joining us after the news here on Vision.
It's the daily podcast of your favourite Aussie breakfast show, Rise and Shine. Rise and Shine.
We're loving spending Wednesday with you right the way across the country. I've got a text here saying that Bernie thought it was Thankful Thursday. So she's on to Thursday. Yesterday, we didn't know what day it is, but definitely today is Wednesday. But tomorrow, I think we will have to have a very special Thankful Thursday. So hold that thought, Bernie, because it's Thanksgiving.
Well, that's right. Thanksgiving in the States on Thursday. So
You've got us thinking.
yeah,
Well
let's
done.
do Thankful Thursday.
Well,
Sounds
anyway,
good.
I do want to be thankful to some people who've got involved to give for Visionathon, including a very first-time giver. I love this. So Brad in Freeman's Reach, New South Wales in the Sydney region, a huge hug from us. Thank you for jumping online to give. And a beautiful comment here saying, I found Vision when I was working in Dubbo for a month. It rekindled my fire. I was lukewarm, and since listening to the sermons and songs that help me look to God daily, I'm now on fire for God again.
Oh, praise
Don't you
God.
love that?
That is
Brad, we
wonderful.
are praising God with you, and we are so thankful that you found Vision. We always say it's never an accident.
No,
is
that's
it?
right,
It's always God. But your weather in Sydney for you, Brad, is 22 degrees right now, heading up to 34. It is a hot, hot
That's
day.
a warm one, yeah.
But hopefully there's a late shower that'll cool things down a bit.
Okay, well, that's great to hear from Brad, though. Really encouraging. And here's a verse for you from Acts 16. Believe in the Lord Jesus and you will be saved, you and your household.
Oh, praise
Simple.
God.
The gospel in one sentence right
There
there.
you go. And it's a wonderful to hear that at you and your household. That
Exactly.
promise is that you
Yeah.
can pray that over your family as well.
That's right. So true. That's a good one there. Acts 16:31 here on Vision. As mentioned, we do have some people that have popped into the studio, so we'll meet some friends soon.
You found the podcast of Vision's breakfast show, Rise and Shine. Rise and Shine.
You're on Rise and Shine with Fel and Robbo. And Robbo, this is exciting. We've had some guests drop into the studio.
That's right. You just never know what's going to happen on Rise and Shine. People have just popped in. In fact, if you remember a few weeks back during Visionathon, we actually had a conversation with Victor on the phone. So you were in Warwick at the time. So I remember chatting with you. But you and your wife Tiana have come along for a bit of a... are you on holidays? What are you even doing here?
Yeah, what are we doing here? We just walked in, saw the radio station, and just walked on in. I'm just kidding. No, I'm born and raised in Los Angeles. Mexican background, like a lot of people in Southern America, I guess.
Yeah.
Was doing missions with YWAM. Met Tiana there. YWAM Los Angeles. Fell in love. Got married. Got married just a few months ago here in New South Wales, and now we're just enjoying marriage, I guess.
Wow.
Taking a year for us, working and just being together, and that's what we're
That's so
doing
cool.
here,
Oh, I
I
love
guess.
that.
So Tiana, answer this question for me. Are there any YWAMers that haven't met and married? Because it seems like that's the way that it goes. It's like this huge dating agency.
Yeah. I mean, so many people I know have been married through YWAM. And, they say the acronym is Young Women After Men.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there is an influx of women there.
Yeah. I heard in missions it could be up to 80% female, like the ratio, like male and female is.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's really not a bad thing because you're actually going to find a partner who has similar values, is called by God, is really all in for God.
Yeah,
and so I think it's a wonderful place.
Yeah.
Better than going to a pub any day, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And how are you finding Australia so far? Had you been here before?
No, never been here before.
Okay.
Didn't really think about it.
No?
Never was really on my mind. I just thought Australia's fine. A Western developed nation, cool music. And that's about it. I didn't really, and kangaroos maybe. That's all I thought. I
Lots of
really,
kangaroos here.
yeah. I've seen a lot, too many. But yeah, I have family in the American state of Idaho, which is borders Canada. It's very country-like.
Yes.
So I'm finding it somewhat similar to like the countryside of Australia, and it's just beautiful. It's just nice. Finding it great. Food is amazing. Bread is great.
Oh, there we go.
You get that if you're an American, if you're visiting America, you'll find like American bread is not.
Yeah, the quality
Tell
here in
'em.
Australia is pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what I was missing out on until I came
Didn't
here.
know what good bread was.
Yeah, exactly.
So how is the bread different in America? Like, how would you describe American
Cardboard?
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's just not as fresh or as
It's
soft.
not,
and I came from a
fluffy.
bakery here in Australia, so
wow.
I know what the good quality is, as well as we had a German friend in America who was trying to find a good bakery too. She had that same problem.
Yeah,
There you
the
go.
Germans got together and they're like, where can we find good bread? And I'm like, what do you mean there's not good bread in America? And we leave America and it turns out,
Wow, that's
It's
amazing.
great over here.
That's so cool. Well, we've got some new friends here. We're going to get to know them a bit more here on Rise and Shine, but we do need to hear the word for today. So we'll play that next and then come back and continue our conversation with Victor and Tiana.
Love the Rise and Shine podcast? Tell a friend today.
You're on Rise and Shine with Fel and Robbo and some friends this morning.
That's right. We've got some new friends that have just dropped in, Victor and Tiana, who are living in Warwick, but Victor's from LA originally. You're from Newcastle originally, Tiana.
Yeah, New South Wales.
And you guys have you actually met in LA through YWAM, so it was a match made in heaven, and just got married recently here in Australia. Yeah, that's right.
I'd love to know a bit more about YWAM though, because we'll have people listening today who are like, why what? What is this all about? Victor, can you tell us a bit about what YWAM's all about?
Yeah, YWAM just stands for Youth with a Mission. Started in LA in 1960. Went worldwide almost immediately. I would just say it's it starts off with what's called a DTS, Discipleship Training School. I would say more or less 6 months or so. 3 weeks lecture phase where it's full-time schooling.
3 months.
Did I say 3 weeks?
Yeah.
3 months.
That's why you get married.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you, Tiana.
Good job. Thank you. Thank you. I did not even hear myself. Yeah, 3 months, lecture phase, full-time schooling. And then more or less 3 months outreach phase, which is like evangelism and missions as a full-time missionary outside of your cultural context. So overseas and, other nations and things like that. Wow. It took me to India, took me to Singapore, took me to Japan, other nations that I quote unquote cannot say, but it's amazing, life-changing. And I met my wife there. So it's like,
it's like the full package. So you
exactly.
get to, it's like an adventure in missions, adventure in God, and then obviously an adventure in love as well. So it's like all the boxes
that
ticked.
was beautiful. I wonder, Victor, for someone, because I'm just thinking, when you're a bit younger, you can be hesitant to share your faith or to be able to share the gospel. Is that something that YWAM equips you to be able to do?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you get equipped with anything you can. Our lecture phases are like weeks, so it'd be like the Father Heart God week, apologetics week, evangelism week, like for a whole week, and it's practical as well. So you will go to the streets. Our students, we had them in Hollywood. They're going up and down Hollywood, evangelizing. Hollywood is crazy. We call it Hollyweird where we're from. So it's just very practical, extremely practical, and your faith and prayer and intercession and so much. I can't talk enough about it.
Sounds amazing. Yeah. And Tiana, recently you've been at a conference with YWAMers. Is that the right way to say it?
YWAMers in the Philippines.
Wow. And what did you find? What is it like when all those YWAMers come together?
It's pretty encouraging just to see people there from all walks of life and different cultures there, just there for one purpose, is like to know God and to make him known. And it was just great connecting with people as well. So being invited to different countries, and it'd be great to do missions in there.
That's so good. It's really encouraging to hear, because obviously, I mean, I know lots of YWAMers that you sort of never stop being a YWAMer. So even though it's youth with a mission, but like it sort of covers lots of...
there's no age group.
That's right. Yeah. It covers all the demographics. Yeah. But it's great to know that, I mean, typically it is younger people, but just their passion for the Lord is wonderful. So it's just a great impetus that then goes out into all sorts of places around the world.
Yeah, and you get like 60-year-olds starting DTS and getting into missions there. Like they retire and just go into missions.
Also family missions. You can be married, would have children, go into a DTS, do missions as a family around the world. It's amazing. Wow. I know the term youth kind of, but somebody told me actually they were like youth with a mission, and they were in their 60s, and they're like, well, what are we compared to like the age of like God or something? Like we're just nothing. You're just a little blip. And I'm like, that's true.
That's a good point.
Well, you need different demographics to reach different demographics as well. You were telling us behind the scenes some interesting stats though, Tiana, that you found out.
Yeah. So Christianity is just exploding in places like Africa, China, if I can say on air, and Nepal as well. So that's really cool. But unfortunately, Australia and New Zealand are one of the top nations for declining in Christianity, which is a bit concerning.
Yeah. A good opportunity, though.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess encourage people who are listening, like go out, share the gospel. And they do say it takes an average of someone to hear the gospel like 7 to 12 times to receive it. And so I guess don't look at it as if you're preaching the gospel, like, I need to get them saved on the spot, but share with them so they know. Plant that seed.
That's it. Very, the seed can take a while sometimes, can't it, to be watered and sort of, sit and then suddenly it'll burst into life. And I guess that's the thing, that sometimes there'll be one individual that'll share the gospel and they'll see a response, but they don't realise that there may have been, a dozen other people involved in the process. So that's really cool.
We found that a few times, and with testimonies of going into like remote villages in the middle of nowhere all around the world, and you get to a person and the person will be, okay, finally I'll accept Christ, like a village leader or someone, and the whole village gets saved. But what we don't know is that every 6 months somebody's going there from YWAM or from another organization to preach the gospel to them, plant that little seed, and you just never know when it'll
and not to be discouraged if you're that first person.
Exactly.
Not to say, it didn't happen, I didn't do it, but to know, hey, you've sown the seed and you've done your part.
Brilliant.
And it's just all about obedience. Just step out.
Agreed. Well, look, it's been great to get to know you guys. You aren't here alone though. You've actually brought another friend. Your brother-in-law is with us as well, so I might have a bit of a chat to him after the news headlines, which is coming up in a tick here on Rise and Shine. But thanks so much for dropping in. It's lovely to get to know you a bit better.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Subscribe and listen to the Rise and Shine podcast in the free Vision app. It's easy and available everywhere.
You're on Rise and Shine with Fel and Robbo.
And we got lots of guests in the studio. We've just been chatting with Victor and Tiana, I should say, in the last half hour, but also their brother-in-law Matt is with us, and you've come with gifts, Matt. We really appreciate bringing in some apple juice here.
I do. I come in bearing gifts. That apple juice is straight from Stanthorpe in Granite Belt Chaplaincy.
Yes.
And so they send their regards as well to Vision. But it was a privilege to be part of chaplaincy there for a season, and I'm still working full-time as a chaplain there in Warwick, Queensland.
Awesome. That's so good.
Why chaplaincy for you?
Well, funny story you say. I actually used to be involved with a band called Iron and Clay, and they used to go around to different schools all around Australia, and we used to communicate with chaplains quite a lot. And I thought, chaplains are pretty cool. And then I actually met my wife through that band, and we actually settled down and had kids while doing camp ministry, and we had different schools come to us. And then we actually met chaplains throughout that. Wouldn't it be funny to be a chaplain? And then after COVID happened, I did a bit of residential care, and then eventually actually God called my heart to move back to Queensland where my parents were. Wow. And God, I'll only move if there's actually a good job for me there. And in a school in Warwick actually offered 2 days, and they gave me 4 days there, so it was a real tick from God to say, yep, here you go, you can move it with your family and start chaplaincy.
That's awesome.
Wow. Yeah. Are you finding chaplaincy, I imagine, incredibly rewarding?
Absolutely.
But tough.
Yeah, like I think, being in ministry and doing stuff with youth and with primary schools as well, it's all the same work. And I mean to say that nothing to say that chaplaincy isn't so important, but it is. But I mean, like, there's teachers involved. Yeah. There's a whole community involved in investing in the lives of these kids. And I think the unique thing about chaplaincy is that you really have a name that says, hey, I'm a Christian. Within schools, and it is quite a title that actually does do you some credit to kind of act responsibly and look as a positive role model and actually be Christ in the school. Wow. So it is quite, there's a chaplain, what is he doing kind of thing. So it is a little bit more of a spotlight as well. Yeah. So the kids really love yelling out, Chappy Matt, Chappy Matt. So it is really awesome to kind of have that sort of camaraderie with the students and actually have a connection there in order to say something a little bit deeper about life too.
That's awesome.
Brilliant.
Yeah. What's your story? Like, did you sort of grow up in a Christian home, or have you come to faith later in life?
Yeah, so I mean, without telling my full testimony, I suppose, I mean, like I was baptised when I was 10. I didn't want to go to hell, so I thought that was a good decision. I want to be on the good side.
Well done.
Yeah, so but then at 13, I had this huge encounter with God. I actually wanted to be an NBA superstar. I was really into basketball.
Right.
Yeah, and it was like street ball, like it was a bit, gritty, grungy kind of basketball and that kind of thing. But the whole focus was how good you are and how best you can perform and outdo somebody else. How can you break someone else's ankles, like how can you, how you make someone else look like a fool? And so there was this kind of culture that sort of made me a little bit egotistical. And as I was growing up, I kind of really fought for this kind of, I want to be the best. And then my knees started to feel really sore, and I had Osgood-Schlatter's disease, which actually happens to a lot of youth that actually do a lot of jumping and running sports. And they actually have to settle down. The physio said, Matty, you have to actually stop basketball for another 2 years. And at that point, I was just heartbroken. And the friends that I made because of basketball didn't really spend time with me. I was sort of bullied and stuff like that as well. Right. And so that was a really good story that I can pass on to the kids, because actually after the fact, I needed to figure out what life was about. And through my pain, God actually met me where I was, and he actually opened up my heart to say, actually, it's going to be okay.
Wow.
I'm here, and after praying on my knees and just tears running down my eyes, everyone's got a different story of how they come to Christ and encounter the Holy Spirit. But the Holy Spirit just really met me where I was. And I just felt really transformed, and my dreams became a new dream. Over time. God didn't actually heal my knees in 2 years. It actually took 5 years. But he was healing my heart, because I recognised I need to change.
Yeah.
I need to change.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, I guess in that 5 years, your identity went from being in basketball to being in Christ, and so that, I guess, changed your whole perspective.
100%. And I still play basketball now. It's fantastic. But I guess my perspective on life is different. I don't have to depend on my own reputation based on a basketball, or it could be based on anything else in this world. But because my identity is in Christ, now that everything just seems like it's full of colour, full of HD, I tell the kids.
It sounds like it's much safer to play basketball against you now.
Yeah, that's right. No broken ankles.
Oh, that's all right. I'm a far better loser as well these days,
That's so cool.
Yeah, that's
we got Matty with us this morning, and you mentioned you were with a band, Iron and Clay, which, I've known of them for years, doing, that sort of circuit and, ministering in schools. But you've recently formed a band with your brother, and we're actually going to have a listen to one of your songs soon. So stick around for that. We're going to hear from the band Tell Me I'm Dreamin', which is a great name for an Aussie band, I reckon. Tell him he's dreaming.
Yeah, thank you. I am dreaming,
That's so good. So stick around for that. We're chatting with Matty this morning on Rise and Shine.
Brought to you by the generosity of Vision family members across Australia and around the world. The Rise and Shine podcast.
Got Robbo and Fel, and we've got Matty here as well. And Matty, I love your band name. Tell Me I'm Dreamin'.
Yeah.
So I want to say Tell Me He's Dreaming, but
that's
Tell
right.
Me I'm
Tell him he's
Dreamin'. I love that name. Where did it come from?
Well, it is quite personal. And I guess that's why it's like Tell Me I'm Dreaming. It actually has three facets. Long story short, my brother and I were in two different bands. I was in Iron and Clay, and he was in Endless Praise. We actually made up an early band when we were younger called Forever Unbroken. We actually got a bunch of church mates together, and we just made this Forever Unbroken, and then we broke up. I know. So we needed to discover another name, because my brother and I, we're still really heavy on our hearts after doing mission in schools and stuff with Iron and Clay and Endless Praise. And we just thought, we just need to keep writing music because God's put on our hearts to do that. And so we were just sort of spitballing around and thinking about like a name that God wanted for us. And, Sam just said to me one day, like, while we're sort of practicing, he's like, oh, tell me I'm dreaming. And I'm like, oh, that actually could work. It's just kind of like the penny drops. And we actually thought about it a lot more before actually deciding on it. And it actually has 3 different facets. Tell me I'm dreaming, God. Your glory is just so big. It's what this mountaintop experience. And it's just unbelievably awesome because tell me I'm dreaming. You're just too good to be true.
Yeah.
Tell me I'm dreaming, God. I'm in a really hard place right now. There's nightmares. There's this hopelessness. Can you really meet me where I'm at right now?
Wow.
Because I feel so far away from you. It's a nightmare. Tell me I'm dreaming, God. You are real. Jesus, you are Lord of Lords, and I believe wholeheartedly that you are true. And I'm not budging because I know that you are Lord and Savior of my life. Prove me wrong, anybody. Tell me I'm dreaming.
I love it.
So I guess looking at those aspects, and we really wanted to project this elevated and hopeful music. So I guess that's kind of how it sort of started. And speaking of mountaintop experiences, that's why we actually decided to film this music video of this single on a mountaintop. Yeah.
Awesome.
That's brilliant.
So that's the single is All That I Hope For, is that right?
Yes, that's right.
Wow.
Excellent. Well, we're going to have a listen to the song in a tick. So tell us then the actual message behind this song, like what came for it to be written.
For sure. So basically this song describes a turning point. It describes a place of comfortability. For the non-Christian, it's a challenge to say, can you trust God with your life? For the Christian, it actually challenges the believer to say, hey, are you actually sitting still and being comfortable? Can you actually give God more room to move in your life and to push you into greater adventures? Because there are mountain experiences, there are valleys, and sometimes I actually am often challenged with that question, God, if I say yes to you, are you going to make it really miserable for me?
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, are you going to send me overseas into this godforsaken land where I'm actually going to be like trembling and just thinking everyone's going to kind of kill me? As a matter of fact, God actually looks for the interests of us, of our hearts, and he really cares about it. He cares about his sheep. He really loves us more than anything in the world, and he wants us to partner with him, partner with his dreams and his plans, his purposes. So the song describes, well, my dreams and your dreams come together. Well, can I actually join with you in your plans? And so there's this, for as the writer, I was sort of thinking, God, I'm in this space where I just really need to trust you. But I often sometimes come up with a question, do you have all that I hope for?
Wow.
That's wonderful. Let's have a listen to it now. This is Tell Me I'm Dreaming, a brand new one from Matt. And what did you say your brother's name was?
Sam.
Matt and Sam. So Tell Me I'm Dreaming, all that I hope for, here on Rise and Shine.
I'm wondering why everything just seems so complicated. And the truth of it is, I've got 2 options I gotta face. Should I follow the line? 'Cause I've been so blind and comfortable. Or will I take a risk to follow you and give it all? Well, I've never been the one to say never, but my chances don't seem to be chances anymore. Will my dreams and your dreams come together? Have you promised me all that I hope for? I'm often tied down from the weight of my indecision, and I get so swayed from what other people might think of me. Now I'm standing up for what I'm believing in. I want you to say that you were never gonna leave me. Well, I've never been the one to say never, but my chances don't seem to be chances anymore. Will my dreams and your dreams come together? Have you promised me all that I hope for? I've never been the one to say never, but my chances don't seem to be chances anymore. Will my dreams and your dreams come together? Have you promised me all that I hope for? Have you promised me all that I hope for? I'm just looking ahead, I'm not looking behind. That's what held me back for so long. It makes sense to believe without wanting a sign. My future looks bright with you. My future looks bright with you forever. I'll never be the one to say never, 'cause my chances won't seem to be chances anymore. All my dreams and your dreams come together. You promised me all that I hope for. I'll never be the one to say never, 'cause my chances won't seem to be chances anymore. All my dreams and your dreams come together. You promised me all that I hope for. I'll never be the one to say never, 'cause my chances won't seem to be chances anymore. All my dreams and your dreams come together. You promised me all that I hope for. You promised me all that I hope for. You promised me all that I hope for.
That was All That I Hope For by Tell Me I'm Dreaming on Rise and Shine.
Oh, you did well. And that was the artist back announcing his own song, Matty. Well done, mate.
There you go. You got a new job here if you need one.
We'll go and have a coffee now. You can just take over the rest of the show.
I tried to get the radio voice on, you know.
Very, very good. Well done. We didn't give him any warning of that.
That's
so
it.
Very impressive.
You've done it perfectly. Well, it's been so good to get to know you a bit, mate, and to hear your brand new one. So we'll keep an ear out for some new stuff. You said another one coming in the next couple of months?
in January. I've actually contacted a guy over in America to do a remix for this, so that's kind of cool. So I'm not sure if you're into remixes, but I've got a new song, Taking What Comes. Working your way through those tough seasons through change. That's coming out in January.
Excellent.
Well, if you want to keep track of it, I'm over on social media on Instagram.
That's it.
Tell Me I'm Dreaming Band. So you need to put the band bit in.
Yep.
Click follow, and then you can be kept updated.
Fantastic.
Brilliant. Okay, well, make sure you check that one out. Thanks so much, and also to Victor and Tiana, who are here as well this morning. It's been so good to meet you guys. Thanks for dropping in.
We love a pop-in.
Yeah, that's right.
There you go. Anyone, if you want to pop in, it's very fun.
No worries. Thanks so much for having us. It's been such a privilege, and enjoy the apple juice.
Yes, we will enjoy it. That's going to be very good.
If you bring a
indeed.
gift, you can definitely pop in.
Absolutely. We've got news coming up real soon. Then we're going to be into our monthly prayer meeting after that here on Rise and Shine.
Great conversations and great friends. The Rise and Shine podcast.
Oh, and that was the curtain call. Thanks to Richard from Swansea.
Yeah.
Pressing on, Bob Dylan. You don't get that often.
That's right. That's, I think, possibly the first time Bob Dylan's been played on Vision. But actually, I just double-checked. It is 1980 that song was released. And as mentioned, he did 3 gospel albums when he had a real encounter with God at that stage of his life. So, got really fired up and turned some of his amazing creativity into a bit of a gospel focus.
Oh, I'm glad for that. When you've got a God-given gift, to be able to direct it towards the gospel, that's wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely. But that wraps up our show for the day. We'll be back again tomorrow, of course. And, of course, tomorrow in the States, so Thursday, American time, is Thanksgiving. So I reckon we should do a bit of Thankful Thursday.
I think that's a great idea. Well, we wonder if we could do a virtual Thanksgiving, Robbo. So maybe if you're having a think, if you were going to Thanksgiving, what would you take with you? What's your dish?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But also, what are you thankful for? I love the concept. I've never done Thanksgiving, so this could be maybe everyone could help and we could do it for the first time.
We'll do a virtual Thanksgiving. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I've never done one either, but I've got lots of friends that either have been a part of it or certainly from the States. So that's cool. Yeah, so think about that. What are you taking as your virtual dish to a Thanksgiving meal? And what are you thankful for as well? You can answer that question tomorrow on Rise and Shine.
Oh, wonderful. But we are leaving you with the rest of the Vision crew. Very capable hands for the day. Whatever you're doing, we're praying it's wonderful. And we'll be back bright and early tomorrow morning.
Thanks for taking time to listen to this audio on demand from Vision Christian Media. To find out more about us, go to vision.org.au.